We are live. Shalom, shalom, family. Welcome to the channel, guys. In this video, as you guys see, we're gonna be talking about some news, some good news. We're just gonna get right into it.
Yes, our president, y'all, Captain Ibrahim Traore, has been able to acquire some new military grade equipment. This is breaking news. This is literally breaking news because this came from the new tourist channel that puts out African content just like 20 minutes ago. Okay. So this is African continental news that you need to know about. Forget about CNN, forget about Fox, forget about everything they're talking about. There's a lot of things that are happening on the continent that you want to be abreast to as you think about strategizing and moving to Africa. We're literally witnessing history take place. And I don't think any of us could have even like imagined that it would look like this, especially this quick. It's like the swift move is coming across a lot of the people in Africa, and it's going. And it's like you gotta keep up so you don't get left behind.
Yeah, times is speeding up, um, and we all know it. It has to happen. So what's happening right now is really a good thing if you really think about it, because it's really happening for our people, for the continent of Africa. So you just got to take it how it is and let it play out, because it's going to be great in the future. So
Yep, for Africa.
exactly.
Yep. For other nations, I'm not so sure. For the northern nations, you don't know how that's about to play out. For America, you don't know how that's about to play out. But for West Africa, South Africa, East Africa, even North Africa, the future looks extremely bright. Now, if you don't know, Captain Ibrahim Traore is the president and ruler of Burkina Faso. He has done so many things. He's building so many mega projects in Burkina Faso. He's in the Sahel Alliance with Niger, Mali, obviously Burkina Faso, Chad, Libya, the entire Sahel region. The new president of Ghana, John Mahame, he is also friends with him. They get along great. Senegal is changing things as well. They just started building an oil refinery, owning their own oil, the oil not being owned by France. And so France has taken a lot of L's in record time. And they have another L that they're taking right now, which we're about to look into right at this moment.
Yeah, Africa's uniting, and it's better just to be here on the continent and witness it on the continent instead of outside the continent. So we definitely suggest get here, and be sustainable with Africans, with Africa.
Yeah, I think something else that's beautiful is that he welcomed diaspora back home as well, just in the last few weeks and months. So we are going to see these things in real time taking place. Y'all, let's pay attention to this video by the new Taurus channel, Fair Use. You should definitely go subscribe to that channel as well, because it will allow you to stay abreast on the things that are happening in Africa, okay?
For years, outside forces called the shots, deciding when and how to offer military support. Meanwhile, armed groups took advantage of the country's limited firepower, launching attacks without much resistance. It was a vicious cycle, one where Burkina Faso was always on the defensive, always dependent, and never truly secure. But then came Captain Ibrahim Traore, and he wasn't interested in playing by the old rules. He didn't waste time making speeches or pleading for outside help. Instead, he focused on one thing: making sure Burkina Faso could stand on its own. He knew that real security came from self-reliance. So instead of waiting for handouts, he went directly to countries that could supply the firepower his nation desperately needed: Turkey, China, Serbia, Romania, and Russia. But this wasn't just about stocking up on weapons. Traore had a plan. Every piece of equipment had a purpose: air power to control the skies, heavy artillery to strengthen ground defenses, armored vehicles for mobility, and advanced systems to track and neutralize threats. This wasn't a random arms deal. It was a complete military overhaul. And today, Burkina Faso is no longer just surviving, it's fighting back. But what exactly are these weapons that have reshaped the country's defense? If you are still watching this video, it means you love it. Why not take out a second and hit that like button?
What do you think of that? That's
No, that's
enormous,
great.
right?
That's what we need as African people. That's what people need to see. It's not just like, just rolling over and just allowing, the colonizer to just continue to do what they do. So it's like, man, this is definitely definitely needed in every African country. If every African country want to sustain themselves like Burkina Faso, it's going to work out. Which it is. It's going to be faster than we think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's already happening faster. I mean, he had just got in power in 2022. It's now 2025, and look at Africa now. Africa looks so much different, and a lot of that is due to the fact that one man had the audacity to stand up, similar to during the time of the African revolutions in the late 50s and 60s when Kwame Nkrumah stood up. He was the first one to stand up against those colonizers. But once he did, everybody else in Africa fell in line, and everybody was like a whole swoosh, a whole energy that happened over the entire continent. And we see the same thing happening today. It's beautiful to witness it. And I think it's going to go down in history as even more of a transformative time than the late 50s and 60s did on the continent, because that was like phase one. But this is like total like revolution. Like, no, you need to get out. And if you want to come back in, you owe me about 60-fold what you've been taking. That's proper restitution. That's proper reparation. That's proper apology, because you can't have apology without cash, cow, gold, whatever it is in hand to replace what you stole. Apologies don't. Sorry isn't just sorry because you just say it. Sorry has to be sorry because you put action to restore what it was that you took. And Captain Ibrahim knows that. That's something that a lot of diaspora just around the earth have struggled with. And I think it's so beautiful to see somebody stand up like that, because most people don't allow it to register that sorry can't just be sorry. Sorry needs to be boundary. I'll let you know if and when I forgive you, and you're going to have to pay restitution. That's Torah. That's Torah. That's the reality of the situation. So we can look back at the video because there is more content, and y'all need to know about this. Y'all need to stay abreast of the things that are happening. I will tell you that we had a consultation yesterday, a 90-minute session with a sister who is creating her strategy to leave America in the next year. And one of the things that stuck out was all the changes that are happening on the continent. Like in 2020, when we left, a lot of these systems and these new presidents in power, a lot of these things didn't exist. This is such an exciting time to be the first in your family to return back to the continent. Like, it really is.
Before they can react. That's why Burkina Faso's greatest weapon isn't a massive army or rows of tanks. It's something far more powerful. An invisible hunter that never sleeps, never hesitates, and never misses. High above the battlefield, a silent force watches over the nation. The Bayraktar Akıncı. This drone doesn't just gather intelligence, it eliminates threats with pinpoint accuracy. Armed with precision-guided missiles and smart bombs, it can wipe out enemy hideouts in seconds without ever putting a pilot in harm's way. Fighter jets require long, expensive operations. The Akıncı. It's ready to strike anytime, anywhere. For years, insurgent groups believed they could hide in the vast, rugged terrain of Burkina Faso. They thought national armies wouldn't be able to track them down. But they were wrong. The Akıncı changed everything. And it's not alone. While the Akıncı dominates from the sky, another lethal predator lurks closer to the ground, the Bayraktar TB2. If the Akıncı is the silent observer, the TB2 is the executioner. Smaller, faster, and built for surgical strikes, this drone has already proven its deadliness in battlefields across the world. Now it's Burkina Faso's turn to unleash its power. The TB2 is a nightmare for insurgents. It moves in silence, locks onto its target, and fires with devastating precision. By the time the enemy realizes what's happening, it's already too late. No warning, no escape, just destruction. Together, these two drones have changed the game. For the first time, Burkina Faso holds.
Let us know what you guys think about that. Let us know if you heard anything like that. I know there's a lot of equipment when you're talking military, but those two right there is very, very powerful. Obviously, you just heard what they do, what they are used for, and that's some good military equipment right there. Let us know what you guys think in the script or the comments.
Yeah, and something else I want to add is that when you look at the history of Burkina Faso, ever since the revolution after Thomas Sankara, by the way, if you haven't looked him up, you should listen to his speeches so that you understand why Captain Ibrahim Traore speaks the way he does and acts the way he does. Okay, he had a great first leader for their country, like most of the countries in Africa had phenomenal leaders. Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, all excellent leaders during that time. But understand why he's doing this. He's doing this because in Burkina Faso, the West, be it France or whoever, will send in these insurgent groups that have African faces. These insurgent groups that are owned by France on their payroll so that they can go in and cause destabilization. Whenever you want to destabilize African people, you obviously can't send in a European. You got to send in an op, for lack of a better term, a spy, somebody to just cause havoc. And so him knowing this, he's like, okay, how can I defeat that? Because my husband and I, we were talking about that, like, man, that insurgency stuff is something. Mm-hmm. Then literally this week, he's not playing, y'all. He's basically sending a word to these insurgents and telling them, with the military equipment I have, my people are not even going to be killed. You won't even be fighting my people. You're about to be fighting this AI plane, and you're going to get got when you least suspect it. When you was trying to come in from all different sides of the border, Burkina Faso borders about 6 to 7 different countries, okay? They border Mali, Niger, Ghana, Togo to one side, okay? And so there's a lot of ways that different insurgents can come in and cause all of this havoc. Similar things have happened in southern Tanzania and the Mtwara region, where you have this war on Islam stuff, which is basically the West putting these guys on payroll to come in and mess up entire villages of people and then say, oh, actually, you need us to come and help you. So him having this agreement with Turkey, China, and Russia is a way for him to be like, okay, I can protect my people, I can protect my nation so that we can scale up and be leaders of Africa again, okay? So this is huge. And it's much needed because insurgency is a thing. The random people coming in that are on France's payroll. So look, he sent out a strong message. And if I was them, I'd get off that payroll. If I was you, why are you doing that anyway to your fellow African people? But on top of that, he's not playing with these folks. He's not playing. So we'll continue watching to see what else he's saying, what else they're talking about, because that's huge. I think it's a job well done.
And that means bringing in serious firepower. When insurgents try to get too close, they don't meet ordinary resistance. They run straight into a storm of bullets from one of the most feared weapons on the battlefield, the heavy hitter, the 12.7mm machine gun. This isn't your average gun, it's a war legend, a weapon that has shaped conflicts across the world for decades. From World War II to the deserts of the Middle East, from the jungles of Vietnam to the battlefields of Africa, this beast has torn through enemy lines and changed the course of countless fights. Its power comes from one thing: sheer destruction. Unlike smaller rifles that are built for close combat, this machine gun fires massive 12.7mm rounds. Bullets so powerful they can punch through armored vehicles, rip through enemy fortifications, and even bring down low-flying aircraft. It's the kind of firepower that doesn't just stop an enemy, it shreds them. Burkina Faso isn't just using this weapon for defense, it's mounting it on everything. Armored vehicles, tactical trucks, and watchtowers, turning them into mobile fortresses that can take down threats before they even get close. For years, insurgents relied on a simple but deadly tactic: speed. Using pickup trucks with mounted guns, they would hit military bases, destroy convoys, and disappear before reinforcements arrived. But that strategy doesn't work anymore. Because now, Burkina Faso has a weapon that kills speed. One well-placed burst from this heavy machine gun can turn a fast-moving truck into a burning wreck. Its long-range accuracy means that even before the enemy knows they're being targeted, it's already too late. But the true power of this weapon isn't just in its firepower, it's in its flexibility. It can be set up anywhere. Soldiers use it in remote outposts to guard against surprise attacks. Convoys rely on it to clear the roads of ambushes. Military bases mount it on high ground to protect against incoming threats. Even aircraft aren't safe. In past wars, this machine gun has been used to shoot down helicopters and enemy planes, making it a deadly air defense tool in places where missiles aren't an option. Burkina Faso isn't just adding weapons, it's changing the way the battle is fought. Insurgents who once had the advantage of mobility now face a force that doesn't just react, it strikes first. No vehicle can get too close, no ambush can go unchallenged,
Wow.
no enemy can attack without paying a heavy price. And this is just one piece of the puzzle, because while firepower is key, staying protected is just as important. That's why Burkina Faso has brought in one of the toughest armoured vehicles in its history. The WMA 301, a battlefield predator tanks are powerful, but they're not built for every terrain. That's where the WMA 301 comes in. This isn't your typical slow-moving war machine. The WMA 301 is designed for the harsh landscapes of Africa, moving fast, hitting hard, and keeping its crew safe from explosives and enemy fire. Its biggest advantage, the 105mm cannon strapped to the front. This beast of a weapon isn't just for show. It can wipe out enemy hideouts, take down armoured convoys, and clear the way for troops moving in.
Wow. You know what this makes me think is like,
Yeah.
he's not playing. He said y'all colonizers came in the first time, but that'll be the last time. He said that will be the last time. He said he didn't start the war, but he will finish it. He said, come up, get done up. Run up, get done up. I said, come up, get done up. He said, y'all come for his people. Y'all tried to kill them. Y'all tried to take his gold. Y'all tried to mess up his projects. Y'all tried to stop anything that the oppressed people of Burkina Faso have been doing to break free from oppression. And it's not going to be a happy ending. Okay. So, to those northern nations, they'd be wise to just mind their business, take the little scraps that they got. Like, haven't you profited off of West Africa enough? I think it's been long enough. It's been 400, 500, 600 years. I think it's been long enough. I think time's up. I think it's like pack your bags, go home. You had a nice run, whatever. Go figure out how to make it work in France. Go figure out how to make it work in those countries. Because Burkina Faso, not the one. Niger, not the one. Mali's not the one, right? Because him having this equipment is also him saying, because as African people, if you live in Africa, African culture, if one of your tribes next to you, if one of your nations, your people next to you is good, then they're going to protect the other ones as well. That's just what it is. And they had just announced a few weeks ago for the Sahel Alliance that they would be up in their arms and everything. And I think most people thought, okay, they'll probably be doing it over the next few years. They said, no, they shook hands, they put the deal in power, and they're good. Then you may say, how do they get these resources? Well, when you have gold, you just look in the backyard, there's this whole ton of gold. Of course you can afford anything you need. That's why Africa's never been poor. This is what we've been saying for years now. Africa's never been poor. Africa's been raped and pillaged. But once you get that rapist and that pillager off you, definitely not poor. Poor shouldn't be even in the vocabulary when people even speak about this continent.
It's a lot of things changing, and we definitely need that war front for the African continent. Because the things that we've been seeing, the Most High been revealing to us, war is definitely coming. And I'm glad that, we can share this video with you, because we watched the whole video. Because I didn't know all that. I didn't know all that equipment that, Burkina Faso had. Usually you see that in like a America or Russia or China type military and army and stuff. But I'm glad that, Africa is really starting to catch on with this technology and, AI drones and big old tanks and military and, big old bullets that can rip through a whole vehicle and stuff.
That's
so
crazy.
It's like, okay, yeah, it's really that time. It's that time to not, I don't want to say pick at nobody, but just defend what you have. So, if you don't know, family, it really is that time spiritually, and it's coming down to the physical, as we see. So you just got to be prepared. You really got to be prepared.
Yeah.
And Burkina Faso is just leading the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about geographically where Burkina Faso, where Niger, Mali, all these countries are located throughout the Sahel, you have North Africa, then you have the Sahel. Obviously, Europe is above those countries. When Europe wants to come in, they can't get to sub-Saharan Africa without crossing the Sahel. So he's basically saying, like, look, I'm going to protect Africa. He's basically standing up and saying, look, I know I'm one country, but I have the Sahel Alliance. I care about Africans across this continent. He's put out speeches where he talks about how much he cares about the diaspora as well. He's saying, I'm going to stick up for you. You know what it reminds me of? King David.
Yeah.
That type of vibe where King David didn't care. It looked like he was the youngest. It looked like, right, Ibrahim Traore has like the poorest nation or whatever they like to say. But King David stood up, got his rock, hit Goliath, and it was cool. He went to war all the time, not because he just loved war and loved fight, but because he wanted to protect his people. King David was the type of person, he was like, I protect mine by all costs. And he wouldn't lose a war. Why? Because the Most High was with him. It's like, remember these things when you're trying to discern the things that are happening on the continent, trying to understand what's going on. Because it's like all those nations that used to try and siege Israel. As long as Israel was keeping the commands, they couldn't do it. As long as they had a righteous ruler, they couldn't penetrate. It didn't matter. Because when the ruler's righteous, and by the way, if you didn't know, Burkina Faso is called the nation of the upright people. These things aren't coincidences. This is like an outward expression. Hey, I have the Most High on my side, so I'm not afraid. And you can see how many times they try to take this brother out, and it's not worked, not one time.
Yeah, and you got to think, you got to listen to how he speaks. This is the only president that I know of that I hear that speaks about history. But I'm not talking about no 60 years ago. I'm not talking about no 30 years ago. He talking about hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of years ago. So he just want the fair game, fair use, like the righteous, just how she was just saying, the righteous way. So if you don't know, listen to his speeches and you'll be surprised. You'll be like, man, yeah, you don't hear a lot of people talking about history like he do. So that tells me that, hey, he really understands who we are and where we come from.
Yep.
Because if you look at history, you will understand that it's tied into the Bible. It's tied into the Most High's chosen people.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, he definitely knows some stuff, and you can tell by his actions, Just by his actions, you can tell. And the Western news media would never want you to hear this. They're going to continue covering Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They're going to continue talking about that. They're going to continue not showing you what's really happening. But it's time to discern the times and to see what's going on, to ask the Most High what's going to come to the earth in the next 10 to 20 years. And where do I need to be strategically for my lineage to increase? Because everybody that knows the truth and knows the Bible knows it's all about lineage. It's not about one person. It's about lineage. It's about African community, That's always what it's been about. Always, always, always. And so we have another video, but what y'all think about that was a shocker. Like, he's not playing, he's moving fast, y'all. But he probably has some insight and understands what those powers are going to be doing. Because remember, we told y'all to watch that documentary, The Grab or something like that. The Grab, is that what it's called? The Grab, okay? Did y'all do y'all homework and watch The Grab? Somebody leave a comment, let us know. Because if you did, then you would know why he's moving like this. He's moving like this for a reason. Because the grab is about to try and take place. And it's already starting to take place.
Yeah, it's been taking place. And it's like, it's not farmers. It's not people that understand farming. It's people that understand that their past work was military work that's come over here to Africa and taken land and say, hey, I'm a farmer. But like, when you become a farmer, your whole life for the past 30 years, you was in the military. So why are you coming to Africa doing farming? Like, I'm telling you guys, watch The Grab on Hulu, and you'll understand like what been going on here in Africa. And it's sad. Sad, but we see that Burkina Faso is like really understanding what is to come. So they're gearing up for it.
Yeah. And through his obedience to that call to stand up, all of Africa will be blessed by it. Because it's literally, if we would stop seeing ourselves as individuals, then you would see what's about to happen and what's about to take place and what the end game is. Here's a hint. We told y'all Saudi Arabia owns land in America that American, European descent farmers cannot have access to anymore. The government took it. You know, in America and many countries, the government can come in and take your land at any time. If they say, hey, we have plans to develop here, or they decide to sell off the land to Saudi Arabia. Remember that. Remember, Ohio's about to get a data center that's being built by Dubai. Do you think they're building that because they just love Ohioans and they just, oh, I love Ohio? They're doing that because the Middle East is not livable. They're doing that because the Middle East economy, although it's great, they're like, we got to diversify. If you're an entrepreneur, you understand. They're like, we got to diversify and expand our territory and get somewhere that has some type of land, some type of food and water. Because a desert, you know, a desert's a desert. You can't really do much with the desert. There's not much you can do, which is what the Middle East is. And so they're like, okay, let's try and get some of these Americans, get what they have. For whatever reason, whatever they got with America, which tells me they have some type of leverage in America, because not any nation can do that, but Saudi Arabia can. So they have some type of leverage. And China. They can and have already taken that land because they said they don't have the food and the water. They said, well, we got to fly across this ocean and get it from the Americans. Trump couldn't stop it. He was smiling, talking with Dubai about how they're about to build the AI plants to have people working in those. Americans, go figure. History repeats itself. He who leads in captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills by the sword will be killed by the sword. That's the word. You need to apply that and see where it sticks and where it lands in today's time. Because it's super, super, super clear. I mean, they're making entire documentaries about it. That's the Most High's graciousness that he allows these people to just, they don't hide nothing from y'all, to be quite honest. There's nothing they hide. They put it in entire documentaries so that you know about it. So when these things happen, you need to ask and pray and say, okay, what do I do with this? Do I want my children's children to inherit a nation that the Arabs are actually going to be colonizing called America? Nobody thought America could be colonized. It's happening right now. Just wait. It's already too late. It's already happening. People are going to look back maybe 10 years from now like, oh, snap. That was the time when it started. Yes, now is the time. It's better to see these things coming. You know, Proverbs says a prudent man foresees danger and moves himself out the way. Prudent, a synonym for prudent is wise. Somebody that has wit and discernment. A prudent man foresees danger. To foresee is to see something before it happens in the future. This is why to many African nations and tribes, the ability to have prophecy and to understand what's coming is a form of wealth. It's a form of preservation when you can understand what is coming before you so that you can maneuver yourself out the way of total destruction and annihilation. But that's something that's only given from on high. Mm-hmm. So pray for it.
Yeah, just don't wait till the last minute. Like really. Because it's going to be that. There's going to be a lot of people waiting for the last minute. And if you're watching this and if you're seeing our videos for 4 years, 5 years, we've been saying
5 years
just
now.
Get to Africa.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's all going to end, especially for our people.
Right. The end and the beginning, to be quite honest, it was Eden. So it started there, has to end there.
But yeah, check this video out.
Same channel, New Taurus. Shout out to them. Fair Use. They're great. I love their channel.
This nation is standing on its own 2 feet, proving that it doesn't need handouts or foreign aid to thrive. On Friday, January 31st, 2025, something remarkable happened. Governor Mariama Konate stepped forward to show the world that Burkina Faso is moving forward, not looking back. This is a nation reclaiming its independence, one field at a time. And at the heart of this movement, a leader who refuses to accept limitations. A leader who doesn't just talk about change, he makes it happen. Captain Ibrahim Traore is steering the country towards self-sufficiency, and the results are nothing short of extraordinary. Now, let's take a journey to the vast plains of Banzon. Here, land is alive with promise. The wheat and rice fields stretch endlessly, glowing under the golden sun. But these crops aren't just growing, They're thriving. They're proof of what happens when bold leadership meets action.
Dang.
This isn't just farming, it's a transformation, a movement, a revolution. In 2024, something massive happened. Instead of waiting for change, Captain Traore made it happen. 400 brand new tractors rolled into the country, ready to supercharge food production. And today, the impact is undeniable. Banzan's farmlands, covering an impressive 450 hectares, have dedicated 100 hectares exclusively to wheat, a first in Burkina Faso's history. For too long, Africa has imported wheat, spending billions on foreign grain when fertile land sat waiting to be used. But not anymore. Not under this leadership. Burkina Faso is rewriting the rules, proving that Africa has everything it needs to feed itself. No more reliance on outside forces. No more vulnerability to fluctuating global markets. No more waiting. And this isn't just about agriculture. The ripple effect of this transformation is spreading fast. Jobs are being created at every level. Farmers, transporters, millers, traders. Everyone is benefiting. Rural economies are coming to life as people find new opportunities right in their own communities. Markets are thriving. The sight of fresh, locally grown wheat and rice filling stalls and shops is more than just a visual victory. It's a powerful declaration of self-reliance. The energy on these farms is electrifying. Farmers are working with pride, driven by optimism. They know this isn't just another government program. This is real, lasting change.
Yeah, real lasting change, and that's just what it is. Just how well can you sustain yourself? How well can you sustain your country? Like really, because just like we keep saying, go watch the grab, go watch the grab, and that's basically what he's doing. He's literally sustaining his own country,
Yeah.
and that's what it's going to come down to. Like really.
Yep. And not just his country, he's ready to trade and do business with other African countries to provide the wheat, the rice that needs to be provided. You can see they're talking about the markets are thriving. Everything's going well. Now, this Captain Ibrahim Traore, he also says he's against corruption. He's not one of them presidents this week that wants to be bribed every 3 seconds. Okay. He says, we are the land of the upright people. That's what Burkina Faso means. And he told the youth in a speech, do not be corrupt. Learn while you're young. Work with your hands. Be diligent. Some of the same things that the book of Proverbs says, literally. Okay. And so he's literally saying we don't need corruption. We don't need France. We don't need none of that to prosper. We can just stand up, be upright, and everything is going to be well for us. And as you can see, it's going really well in high speed time. Not just really well, but it's like high speed, 7 times speed. What president you know on the earth today that has caused that much transformation in a positive way? Trump has caused transformation in a negative way. Okay, very quickly. But Ibrahim Traore, he's 3 years in office, causing all of this transformation in a positive way for his people, showing Africa as a whole how to stand up and how to stop accepting handouts. Handout time is over. Be done with the handouts. I remember growing up, my parents would always just tell me, like, never accept food stamps, never do any of that stuff, never accept stuff like that. That stuck with me my entire life because it makes you dependent. You'll never be an entrepreneur if you're always looking for somebody to give you a handout, because in your mind and your subconscious, you're always going to be looking for somebody to provide for you, do something for you, give you this, give you that, instead of understanding you have the authority and ability to do what you need to do by yourself as a mini creator made after the image of the Most High Creator. You have everything you need.
I was just about to say that too. Yeah, it's creation and being a consumer. Like I didn't watch the video. I know you watched it more than me because I was leaving, but yeah, that's so true. Like America, they say, hey, America is the most consumer. It is a consumer society, right? And that means that it's pretty much opposite of creation. It's pretty much opposite of being creative.
My.
You know, really trying to work for what you need to work for to create what you need to create to get what you need, instead of just, you know, buy, consume. It's pretty much the opposite. I take it as the opposite of the Most High. And
that's a fact.
That's a really the society America brings.
Yeah.
America is a consumer society.
Yeah.
The opposite of the Most High.
Absolutely.
It's deep.
Because Deuteronomy says, we quote this all the time, the borrower is a slave to the lender. That's not just loans, that's anything you take. Why do you think Abraham in the book of Genesis, one of the kings of Egypt, or it wasn't Egypt, it was somewhere he was burying Sarah, but he went up to this land to go and ask for a plot to bury his wife. And the king or whoever leader it was in that specific country, that specific nation said, hey, yeah, absolutely, let me give it to you for free. Abraham said, no, I don't want nothing free. He could have just been like, oh yeah, I need favor. Abraham didn't have victim mentality. Abraham's like, I don't need nothing for free. Let me pay you, because I don't need you turn around later on down the line, spin around saying that I took this from you. I don't need you flipping the script. But he also understood biblical laws before the Bible was written. Abraham knew, I'm the chosen. What do I need free anything for? I don't need to hand out anything. I don't need nobody to donate nothing. I'm with the Most High. Why would Abraham need something for free? He didn't need nothing for free. So he was like, no, I have to pay you. Here's some coins, but I gotta pay you. Abraham was also a businessman like that. That's just wise.
Mm-hmm.
That's wise. You don't just accept stuff from people for no reason. A lot of people in America are getting caught up in that right now. And people are going to become civil slave servants because of the consumerist mentality. It's a trap by the adversary to be like that all the time, to always want this handout, to always somebody gotta donate this, somebody gotta give you that. When are you gonna get up and do it for yourself? That's why Proverbs says, look at the ant, oh you sluggard. Look how hard the ant's working, and look how unified they are. The ant doesn't even work alone. The ant has his team of ants, and they running up the side of somewhere trying to figure out where they're about to get food, and they're moving strategically. This is why Proverbs said that. The people right now in America who can't get that crazy spirit off of them, of poverty and consumption and laziness, are going to reap slavery. It's already happening. They just said they were going around putting these brothers and these sisters in jail who did that PPP loan fraud. These people are getting 35 years for $20,000. 35 years in federal prison because they wanted a handout. And because they wanted somebody to just give them another loan, give me another this, give me another that, give me. Now it's going to be give me in jail. America's economy is crashing. Why do you think they're trying to ramp up and get all these people they put in the immigrants in Guantanamo Bay? They're shipping some of the immigrants out to Panama. Then some of the black folks they're putting in jail. They're going to find any charge they can place on you. That's how they move. That's how they've been moved. How do I know? That's not necessarily prophetic. That's just, I look back at history and I see, oh, this is what they've been doing all this time. Obviously, they're going to keep doing the same thing and do it more so in the times to come. Okay? Understand that. Understand that that is what's coming to America. It does you no justice if I know this and I see it and I don't tell you about it. So at least you can make the decision and say, okay, do I want to be a part of this or not? And divest. At least you can make that decision if you have that knowledge. But if you sit around here in the dark continually and pretend all these things aren't happening and just like sit in the dark, cover your eyes, all that stuff, that doesn't help. You need to understand the things that are going on in America in real time.
Yeah. And not just like, man, if you don't know the things that's going on in America, you in big trouble, because it's not even America now, it's the whole world. Like how is the whole world shifting? Like the whole world is shifting right now. So you got to be past America, like what's going on in America. You should be past that and already know what's coming to America.
Yeah.
Because it's really the whole world now.
The time for excuses is over. Like, it was a privilege for people to have excuses in 2020. Oh, well, you know, I can't make it outside of America. I can't do this, can't do that, can't. The way I grew up, I wasn't allowed to say can't. We raise our children like that. So don't tell me what you can't do. You can do anything and everything that you put your mind to. You can do anything and everything. So even if you think, oh, I can't, actually you can. Find a way, find a solution, make it work. You say you don't have money, find a way to get it legally, righteously. Look at your talents, take inventory of yourself, be grateful, inquire of the Most High, he'll show you in record speed. It's not time for camp. A lot of camp people are ending up behind bars. It's not hitting CNN. Just look it up on TikTok and YouTube though, because the brothers and sisters are covering it, and they're like, well, y'all shouldn't have done that. Like, why would you do? Obviously, white America knew a lot of folks was gonna be doing that. Because a lot of folks have victim mentality, have let me just get it for today, let me take this from somebody mentality. That's a deadly poverty-stricken mentality to have.
Mm-hmm. It's just crazy to think about, man. It's so much stuff that's just being released that's obviously telling people how corrupt America is. Although we know it's corrupt, but they're actually putting it in your face like, hey, you know, just because I saw a video earlier about this Social Security stuff, and they got people that's over 120 years old still getting paid Social Security. Millions of people, not just like a couple people, like millions of people. So they just pretty much telling you, hey, this is corrupt. How is this possible? But people still want to laugh about it and joke about it. No, you better get somewhere where you can own some land, even if it's for 50 years, even if it's for 99 years, because the world is going to change. I know
Right.
people always, it's only for 50 years. Oh, it's only for 99 years.
Is you about to be alive in 99
Look,
years?
get somewhere where the land is cheap, not America, because if you can own some land for $400, you better take advantage of it. For less than $1,000, you better take advantage of it, because yes, it's coming down to food and water. It's coming down to land. You really got to get somewhere where you are going to be able to sustain yourself, because what is coming is not not a game. You're just gonna look. I know we always see videos. Oh, go stock up on food. I was watching a video the other day. This guy been stocking up for 4 years. Like, he got a whole pantry in his basement for 4 years. He's like, yeah, I'm just waiting for the day. And it's like, dang, for 4 years? I can't even imagine that. Like, still stocking up. You better just get somewhere where you can be sustainable, like, really. And that's just Africa. We're gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it. It just really like irritates me to keep saying it, but just really hear what the Most High is putting on our heart and our mind to say to you guys, because it's like it's very serious. Like, you really got to care for your next generation. You really got to care for yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you can't love your neighbor. So it's like it's time. The time is now, and this year that's coming up, March, the middle of March, is going to be a lot of things that's happening that can either it can either benefit you or it can put you in a worse position. Like, really. And that's like 3 weeks away. So you really got to start thinking about a plan. You got to really like, we are strategists as a people. Like, really, we are Josephs. The nations is going to rely on us. So you got to step out on that plane. You got to step out. Although all these plane crashes and stuff, it's just like a cycle of fear that keeps coming around. It's like a cycle of fear that just keeps coming, and people just feed into it. Fear is not of the Most High, and it's simple. I know it's you say it, but it's simple. Fear is not of the Most High. You just really got to step out on faith. It's very simple, because what is to come is not. It's not about to be nice. 3, 4, the next month is not. Look, it's going to take people back. It's going to take people like, oh.
People already being taken back. This brother got 35 years.
Yeah.
For $30,000. Was it worth it, my brother? Like, we got to make smart decisions and be accountable. And people say, oh my gosh, you guys talk so harsh. Well, would you rather me sing it to you? Like, it's like at this rate in the game with Black America, it's like, let me put it like this. Let me put it in a story fashion. You're hiking up a mountain. I'm behind you, but you're in front of me. So I can see that you're about to fall over the edge. And I say, wait, don't do that. And you're like, could you say it kindly? No, I cannot. I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to help you. You want me to just gently, you're about to fall off the mountain.
It's gonna be too late.
You're gonna keep walking, because I didn't scream. I didn't say it with passion and conviction. I didn't say it in a way that would awaken your nervous system. When you watch these videos, we want to awaken your nervous system so your actual mind will be awake. Because for too long, your nervous system has just been gaslighted, put on the back burner. There's trouble coming and you won't even identify it. Your heart won't even tell you what's going on. Your pulse rate ain't gonna spike up. You don't have no fight or flight response. Wake up the nervous system. Wake up. Get your senses back. If you need to tap on your head, tap your fingers to know that you are a real person that needs to have your fight or flight system in power and activated, then do that. Because it's just simple. Things like this should be simple. We shouldn't be having to have these conversations this late in the game, because it truly is late in the game. There have been people that come to Africa and then they go back and say, well, Africa ain't all that. Okay, well, try the new Arab colony of America. See how you like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
See how you fare with that.
Yeah, you better look. You got to drink this coconut water, this living water, and some meat. It ain't no more just sucking on no milk. Like, really. We's not
right, y'all not babies no more. And y'all older than us. Y'all not babies. Y'all are not babies. We're not babies. You're not baby. Nobody's a baby. Why do you think we was just talking about that? What's that rapper's name? Lil Baby or whoever? But why do you think Ashkenazi communities like to call black men Lil Baby? Psychologically, that does something to you. When you were 40, I don't know how old that guy is, Lil Baby. I don't know how old he is. But psychologically, that does something to you when you call yourself Lil Baby, Lil Baby, Lil Baby. Okay, so I'm going to throw a fit and act like a baby. I'm never going to mature. I'm going to be a little baby. That's an issue. That's psychological warfare. Why is his name Lil Baby? Somebody break that down for me. Why? He's an entire man. Lil Baby, why? Lil Bow Wow, Lil Wayne, Lil who else they got? Lil Young this and Lil and Boy. Yeah. Remember they used to call our ancestors that? Boy, get over here, boy.
Yeah. And it's just, man, it's so crazy. Like, it's distractions after distractions. And then with the Super Bowl, the halftime show, of course he tried to spark some people's minds. But it's like, if you know already, you don't really need that entertainment to spark your interest into loving yourself. Like, wow. Really. So it's deep. It's deep. And they like the elites, the people that you can say whatever run America, that run everything, they're putting it right in people's face. But it's not, now it's your choice. Now it's our choice to continue on this milk or start eating this meat.
It's a choice. Really. But they want you to think that you don't have a choice. Why do you think they continue to recreate slave narratives? Why don't they ever talk about Madam C.J. Walker? Why don't they ever talk about some of the brothers who created peanut butter? Why don't they ever talk about the brothers who were scientists, the brothers that had the inventions, the sisters that had the inventions, the sisters that were wealthy, the brothers that were wealthy? They don't make movies out of those people, but they always, every year, it's a new slave movie coming out. And I got tired. I was just like, at 18 years old, I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm leaving. I can't do it. At 18 years old, the Most High gave me the ability to see that it is a hamster wheel, a trap that our community continues to go through over. At least the people in Africa are on their land, on their soil. Okay? And so they have a little bit of time and favor to get things together because they're on their soil. They remember their culture. But us, as the diaspora, the Caribbean, the UK, wherever that we have been scattered to in those different nations, you're apart from the culture. You have to return to the soil. Yeah. You have to. Why do zebras stick with zebras? You don't see no zebra hanging out with the lions at the Lion Nation. You don't see no lions chilling with the zebras or the birds. That's not natural. You have to come back to your roots at some point.
Yeah. Only in Madagascar.
The movie?
Yeah, the movie. That was like one of my favorite movies when I was a child. Yeah.
I'm done.
The zebra, the lion, the hippo, and the giraffe. No, but no, it's just really it's scripture, it's prophecy that needs to come true. The two sticks coming back as one. Because I know for us as African Americans, being in America, um, we're not used to being on the land and surviving off the land. But you know, Africans here, they're used to that. This is how they grew up, like a community, a village. So once we come back and start to realize, like, dang, we need each other. Like we literally need each other to go to the next level.
Yeah.
And it's simple. Like I keep saying, it's very simple.
Yeah.
And you have people like us that's telling, you know, it's simple. It's nothing difficult about it. If you understand the scriptures, if you even read Ezekiel 37, 36 and 37, 38, you will understand like, okay, this is actually being prophesied right now.
Yeah. It is simple. It's like it's so simple that it don't make no sense. That's how simple it is.
Don't get left behind, please.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean I was shocked seeing that today that they had did that video covering that. I forget what channel. It was like YT something. Look it up. But yeah, they put in those brothers and sisters in jail, and obviously they knew they was going to do. That's why they allowed them, because they were legitimate businesses. They couldn't get PPP. So how on earth could these non-legit people get approved? That's what boggles my mind. I'm like, they didn't. Like, how did they even get approved in the first place? And it's like it was a trap from the beginning. Remember in the book of Numbers, where Balak and Balaam wanted to curse the children of Israel. But he realized, I can't curse these people unless they sin against the Most High.
Ooh, unless it's a choice, your choice.
You can't go into slavery unless you sin.
It's deep, y'all.
Unless you sin. That sin could end you up with a 35-year sentence because you're playing around when you didn't have to. Our people play around all day. Do you know that the Black American community, we're just talking Black America for right now, the Black American community in itself, according to GDP, gross domestic product, how much resources you have coming in and you create in 1 year, would be the 7th richest country. That's why I don't like to hear, oh my gosh, Black people don't have money. We have no way. I don't want to hear it. It's just a lie. It's not. You're in a whole different reality if you really think Black America has no money or power or wisdom or talent. You in a whole different dimension than me, to be quite honest. It's just not reality. When the average income, not even the average, the income of the top 1% on earth is $32,000 a year. How many Black Americans make more than $32,000 a year? Pretty much all of them, to be honest. But we're the same. We'll be like, there's no way out. You know, somebody gonna have to send for me. They gonna have to pay reparations. Somebody gonna have to give me a handout. Hand me the handout ASAP. I'm not doing nothing on my own. I guess all those rappers like Lil Baby, Lil Wayne, all the Lils, they thought that way too. And now they don't even own their soul. Now their soul's prostituted to some Ashkenazi guy because they didn't want to stand up. They have a whole list on it. Y'all better look that stuff up. They have a list. And they was telling people, a Black attorney was telling them in the video, y'all look it up on YouTube. Just look it up. The PPP loan scam, look it up on YouTube, or do, what's another keyword? It was like, it just popped up on my timeline. Insert like PPP fraud, something like that. And they were talking about how they have this list out of all these people that got it. And they come into their doors serving them, telling them they got to go to court. A few brothers already in prison got sentences, 35 years, boom. You know they don't do that sentence to no white man. But it's not even about that, because at the end of the day, you knew better. You shouldn't have been doing it. You should have actually ran a legit business. How hard was it for you to start a lawn care business? America's the easiest place to start business, let's be honest. You could start your lawn care business and actually legitimately got the PPP, but folks didn't want to do that. And they're like, oh, talk to us nice. Ain't nobody gonna be talking nice in federal prison. Nobody's gonna be talking nice. And they're probably gonna outsource everything to AI. So you're not even gonna have the guards in there. It's probably about to be some robots. Because it's like, when do we wake? When do people start to wake up and realize that you have authority and power? That's the deception, when you think you don't have authority and power. Wasn't that the same issue that Eve had in the garden? She thought it was some type of other authority or power she could have, when the Most High, by giving her restraint, gave her and her husband all the power that they needed to have. The power was in the fact that you have this garden, till the land, do not eat from that tree. But the snake perverted her mindset and perverted what she was thinking. So she was thinking, oh, there's an alternate power that I need to get. There's an alternative to what I need to get. There is no alternative. There's none. You don't need no alternative. You got everything you need right inside of you. Your work experience, your history, your faith. And if you don't have the faith, get the faith right now today. Today's a great day to shut everything else off, call off from work, meditate on getting the faith. Because that's the most important thing right now.
Most important thing, you got the blood inside you. You got his blood inside you. So you gotta know that for sure. You just gotta know it. You're unstoppable.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Most High is with you.
Absolutely. That's the deception, for you to start thinking, oh, maybe he's not with me. Understand this as a pattern. Spirits work in patterns. The Spirit of the Most High, his good spirit, works in patterns according to Galatians 5 and the fruits that Yahusha has always displayed. But then there's other spirits, like Satan's spirit, that also moves in a pattern. Doubt, fear, getting you to doubt that the Most High is that good. That was the issue with Eve. That's the issue everybody has had ever since that time. Doubting how good the Most High is, because that fundamental question and the way her mind was able to be skewed, it was like, maybe he's not that good. That would have been the root thought. Okay, maybe the Most High isn't that good. He must not be truly who he says he is. So I got to go and get this from somewhere else. I got to go get our provision from, and bypass her husband completely. Like, could you at least talk to him to see, like, why it was just, there's so many things that we can learn from that. And it's the same thing over and over. How do I know? When you look at when the snake was trying to tempt Yahusha, what did he tempt him with? First, he tries to tempt him with the things of the world. Then he tries to tempt him with the word. Then he tries to tempt him by his identity. Obviously, Yahusha knows who he is. Obviously, the devil knew who Yahusha was. That's why I don't understand people who don't believe on his divinity, but whatever. That's not what this is about. He tempted him by asking him, okay, since you are the son of Yahuwah, since you are the son of the great I am, since you are the promised Messiah that was there from the beginning, then why don't you just do this? Why don't you do that? He's messing with his identity psychology. But Yahusha's identity psychology can't be messed with because he's perfect. He's like, no, I rebuke you. See how Satan threw the scriptures? The devil is so crafty. He's not going to throw somebody at a believer that's not even a believer. He's going to throw a false believer at you. Satan is a false believer who knows the scriptures more than most people on, or probably all people on earth, to be quite honest. And so he throws scripture out of context to get you to doubt. It's a pattern. You see that? Messing, one, with the identity, and then two, with what he believed about the Most High. But Yahusha was perfect. He didn't fall for it. He knew my Father's perfect. I've been sent on a mission. Me and the Father are one. We commune very closely. So you can't get me off my path. I already spoke to my Father this morning. Look, Yahusha was like, I've been fasting all this time. I just spoke to him 30 seconds ago. So he knew exactly what to say to bind up and rebuke the devil. And the devil won't just come up with this red skin and horns and pop up in your living room. No, he's coming as these people in the congregations, the churches, the Pharisees, the elders, the people in rulership and leadership, the people in all of these different various things that can have an inkling in your ear to say, oh, the Most High ain't really that good. He ain't really doing that for you. You think he really about to put them dry bones together in Africa? You think he really about to stand up for the oppressed in Africa? You think he really cares about Congo? I don't know. They probably just ham. He ain't really doing that. Like, really? Really? I digress. That's your business. Do what you want. I already know not to blaspheme the Ruach blood. That's why I be trying to tell these folks, you better be careful. You better be severely careful. Because suppose you blaspheme the very Ruach that you claim to profess. Suppose you say, oh, well, he ain't really, that ain't Yah. Then who is it? Blasphemy. Good. I can't take it. I can't, like, because it's so clear. I digress. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Yeah, you gotta know the end game. What is the end game? Where is the end game? Put it like that too. But yeah, guys, I think that's it.
Yes, I think that's it, y'all. Let us know what you think in the comments. I know some of y'all had questions. We'll have to come back another day to answer the questions. It's already been an hour. We were trying to do a quick live, but we stayed on. But all praises to the Most High, because he has to get word out to his people to wake up, because it's the last few moments of waking up. It is time to wake up. It's time to get on one accord. If you have trouble getting on one accord, one thing Yahushua always did, he would always walk amongst the oppressed. He will always find himself looking to those who are lowly and needed a king to revive them. When I realized that 7 years ago, I was like, Africa. Because I know my Messiah. I know he's going to be coming for the oppressed. I know he's going to be coming for those who are raped and pillaged. I know that the universe is not centered around Black America and me. The universe is centered around Yahushua and who he chooses to set free. So you better be where his eyes are going, not where Black America, where his eyes are going. Because he has certain people on this earth that he wants to set free, his jewels, his royal diadem that has been oppressed. And he's going to come back for the oppressed, like he wrote about 7,000 times in those scriptures everybody reads up and down, but somehow can't ever able to come to knowledge and reading, but never able to come to the truth. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, family. Leave your comments, like the video. We greatly appreciate all the support, and we'll talk to you in the next video.